All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Because honestly, what you think you know about computer networks might just be the very thing that costs you your top grade. Today, we're tearing down the hidden intricacies of modems and internet connections and figuring out how to talk about them with the absolute precision that examiners actually demand. Let me give you a massive shortcut warning right off the bat. If you walk into your Paper 1 exam and write, "A router connects you to the internet," which is what everyone says in real life, right? You are going to get exactly 0 marks. Zilch. It entirely misses the actual technical mechanism. You know, it's pretty frustrating because year after year, really capable students just bleed marks here. Why does ordinary revision fail? Well, exam panic sets in, and suddenly you're just repeating one single point using slightly different words, hoping it scores twice. Or you're rushing and completely ignore the specific scenario nouns and constraints they gave you. You've got to remember, every single mark requires one entirely distinct technical point.
Section 1. What is a network, actually?
Let's get our first quick win with the absolute foundation. A computer network is a system of interconnected devices. Computers, servers, routers, switches, all exchanging data via wired or wireless connections. And I really want you to lock in on that word, interconnected. It's an entire living ecosystem designed to seamlessly share resources. I mean, think about the alternative. Imagine the absolute nightmare of having to save a file to a USB drive, walk it across a building just to print an email. We build networks to kill that friction. It's about shared hardware, like printers. It's about shared data. It's multiple users sharing one single ISP connection so you aren't paying 5 internet bills for one house. From multiplayer LAN gaming to voice over IP, it's literally all about efficiency.
And the evolution here is just wild. We went from the late 1950s using dedicated circuits for a US military radar system called SAGE to the 1959 Soviet control plan OGAS. By 1960, the Sabre airline reservation system drops, totally revolutionizing travel. And then, get this, by 1963, JCR Licklider is already talking about an intergalactic computer network. Sounds like sci-fi, but that exact concept laid the groundwork for the internet we use every single day.
Section 2. Core components and connections.
Okay, history is great, but let's talk hardware, because this is your ultimate cheat sheet. A hub or a switch connects devices within a local area network, but a switch is the smart one. It actually directs data only where it needs to go, which bumps up your network speed. Next, the router. It routes traffic, connecting 2 distinct LANs or sharing a single internet connection. Then you've got the modem, analog or digital, which is your actual gateway. It allows the connection over external transmission lines. And finally, the LAN cable for that physical wired connection. Quick tip though, your home router probably has a switch and modem built in, but on the exam, you have to treat them as distinct, separate components.
Now, I've got a massive examiner clue coming up that will completely change how you answer these questions. But to use it, you absolutely have to understand the framework behind it first.
Section 3. The high mark framework. It all comes down to command words. They matter so much. If the prompt says state or define, they want concise, direct facts. Don't write a novel. But if you see explain or describe, you have to give them the characteristics, the why and the how. If you define a term, when they explicitly ask you to explain it, you are literally throwing points away.
So here is your mental template for high mark questions. 1. State the exact definition. 2. Explain the actual technical mechanism. 3, and this is absolutely crucial, apply it directly to the scenario they gave you. 4. State the consequence or advantage. And 5. Wrap it up using precise examiner wording. Walk through those 5 steps and your answers will be practically bulletproof.
Section 4. Spot the error. Mistake clinic.
Let's put this to the test. Imagine a scenario about connecting a home network. Listen to this flawed, everyday answer. They use a router to get on the internet and a hub to plug things in. It works fast. See the problem? Vague words, zero mechanism. Now listen to a top band answer. The router connects the home LAN to the internet connection. An analog or digital modem allows the internet connection over transmission lines. Boom! It perfectly separates the router's local job from the modem's transmission job.
Because remember, 1 mark usually requires exactly 1 distinct technical point. 4 marks means 4 separate technically valid statements. The second you start repeating yourself using different words, just stop. You're wasting time. Move on to the next distinct point.
And hey, if they throw a setup scenario at you, think about cybersecurity hygiene. Setting up a network without a password is like leaving your front door wide open. The golden rule is simple. Never use computer networking without a password. Strong passwords prevent unauthorized access, and dropping that fact in is often a guaranteed mark.
Section 5. The Binge Loop Final Challenge.
Before we hit this final challenge, if this explainer is helping you decode these exams, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at acetheexams_IGCSE to keep crushing your Cambridge examinations.
Okay, here's the final thought. You know the hardware now. You know the framework. But what happens when a Paper 1 question traps you with a scenario constraint you just didn't read properly? If you rely on memorized definitions and ignore the context, the system fails and you lose points. So how do you spot these invisible traps before they spring? We uncover exactly that in our next explainer on common traps by question type. So jump over there right now.